So why is it that I am constantly telling people to just be a good person? And the key is that in academia, there is very little relationship between how much work and effort that you actually put in and the rewards that you actually get out. There is a lot more other factors that happen. Now, this is not unlike many different other sort of environments. Pharmaceuticals is definitely one of those ones where many people spend millions and billions of dollars on developing a pharmaceutical, and at the very last minute it might be thrown out because it just didn't prove to be as effective, safe and effective as they would hope. In entrepreneurship, you might be doing something that is bigger or different than what everybody really liked, and it just wasn't the right time for that particular thing to take off. So there's lots of different areas where this happens, where when you put in effort, you don't necessarily get any particular reward for that. And I know the culture that we live in, the culture, particularly within scientific culture, within American culture, really rewards external validation. It always is about what you have and proving to the outside world that you are somehow an amazing person and that you should be respected. Because once you get those publications, once you get that big, beautiful house, once you get that amazing car or whatever, you have the right purse, everybody loves you. Ultimately, they never do. They don't care about you. They care about the rewards. Now, I want everybody to remember that you have to take a step back whenever you're in this moment. You have to take a step back and realize that you're just simply a good person. You're doing it because you want to actually do it. You have to come back to why you actually started the journey, whatever journey that you're on. For me, in academia, it's the fact that I want to become a scientist, a researcher, somebody that is creating new ideas, somebody that is teaching people new ideas. So you might be an entrepreneur where you're thinking of, I wanted to create something new for the first time. You might be doing something where you're changing the world with some sort of new social venture, whatever that thing is. But you have to come back to why you actually started that in the first place. You have to come back to why you're doing it in the first place, thinking about who you are as a person, thinking about actually being a good person, not reflecting on the fact that you are somehow problematic in some sort of way because the outcomes that you actually did not receive or did receive. You have to remove the fact that what you do and what you get are different. You have to disentangle the effects of actually performing a particular action and getting rewards for that action are completely separate. And I know that's hard for people to remember or think about, but this phenomenon happens in many areas. The stock market, for example, is only loosely correlated with what's going on in reality in the real world. Very loosely correlated with that. And within entrepreneurship, academia, research, whatever thing that you're doing that is new and different, it's not correlated at all. There's a very indirect relationship between the effort and money and all of that kind of stuff that you put in and the rewards that you actually get. And most of the time, it doesn't even exist. The returns for venture capitalists are most often, on average, zero. The returns for scientific effort, the returns for entrepreneurial effort, most often are zero or negative. It is an amazing thing to actually get your money back if you do something that's entrepreneurial. So what do you do in this circumstance? How do you deal with this? I disentangle the fact that who I am as a person is completely separate from what I actually get. I remember that I'm a good person. I remember that I care about the world. I remember that I try to just be nice. I remember to say hello. I remember to smile whenever I can. I remember to pause and appreciate just the beauty that's around me. All of these things are the way that you combat this belief, this feeling that you have to somehow prove to the outside world that you are important or that you actually matter. I want you to take a step back at this moment and think about who you are as a person. Think about what is it that you represent. And now, if you just simply represent the world as matter of fact, and that everything that you show right now, the clothes that I wear, all of these wonderful clothes that I wear right now, that the glasses that I wear, all of that kind of stuff is representative of me as an individual and who I am. That's a pretty shallow existence in my life, in my view. I like to think that no matter who you are and what you're about, you're completely different than the rewards and accolades and all of that kind of stuff that you might get or not get. So just be a good, decent person, day in and day out. Don't worry about all of those rewards, all of those things that you may or may not get now or in the future. And just be a good person. Just remember that you are a decent person and that you are remarkable, no matter what is going on in the world around you. All of that stuff is just games and nonsense. It all is. It's just silly games and nonsense. It's whoever has the biggest Ferrari, whoever has the biggest private jet, all of that stuff. And ignore it. And be just a decent human being. And repeatedly do that day in and day out. Come back to why you're actually being who you are. For me, as an academic, as a researcher, as a scientist, for me, it's because I was a curious kid. I liked the world. I was always wondering how the world actually worked. And so I want to come back to that and realize I just want to be a curious kid again. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day.